Hello friends, welcome back to another video. I am Chef Dino, my channel Dino Val Bone, coming to you from my kitchen at Wild Haven Acres. Today I have a special treat. I have a dish that is kind of unique. It's an eggplant and a sirloin beef recipe. Delicious stew type recipe where you serve it on white basmati rice, or you can just eat it by itself with a good piece of bread, like a baguette. This is a traditional Middle Eastern dish, and I put a little bit of twist of my own to it. And today we're going to make this. So today's video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first show you the ingredients, then I'll go through how I prepare each ingredient, because this dish is a dish that you have to prepare each ingredient individually, then you combine it together, put it in the oven for a bit, and it's just absolutely out of this world. It's delicious. If you like eggplants, this is an awesome dish to try. If you haven't ever had eggplants and you want to try it, it's a good dish to start with also. So with that, I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you all the ingredients right now. Alrighty, so of course we need a piece of steak. This is top sirloin. It's about a pound of meat here. So this is semi-frozen. I just defrosted this. I leave it semi-frozen. I don't defrost it all the way because I'm going to show you why when we go to do the preparation for the beef. Okay, so we're going to set this aside. We, of course, need an eggplant. You can use any type of eggplants. You can use Japanese eggplants, or you can use these eggplants, the round ones here. I like these better for this recipe. They hold up better, especially since it's going to go in the oven and bake for a while. So a nice one eggplant will do. We need some potatoes. I use russet potatoes. About 3 will be plenty for one eggplant that size. I have some hot chili peppers from my plants in my garden. We got some garlic, 4 good sized cloves will do. Yellow onion, any type of onion except red will do. This is a small one, which will be just right. If you like onions, then you can use a medium size. A can of tomatoes. I get this from Walmart, great value. I'm going to be doing some videos on great value products and brand name products and compare them, because great value products at Walmart are about half price of what you would pay for a name brand. And I'll tell you, my experience has totally surprised me. So I'm going to make some videos and I'm going to share some items and go over that in another video. So make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, all right? So you don't miss out. Let's see. We're going to need some spices. I got some garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper. We're going to get some paprika out. I didn't get it out. I forgot. Turmeric. Turmeric is a important part of this dish. Your basic salt and pepper as spices. That's basically it. These are the ingredients. It's just we have to prepare each on its own, and we're going to start doing that, and we're going to go one ingredient at a time. All righty, be back in a bit. All right, so I'm getting ready to prepare the meat. I'm going to do the meat first. Of course, I'm going to remove all the fatty tissue that you see here. I'm going to clean it up, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice this in thin pieces. About like maybe 1/4 of an inch thick. Okay, you don't want to go too thin, but you don't want to go thick either. The reason why I left this semi-frozen is because it's much easier to slice meat and get perfect size pieces when it's semi-frozen. You have better control on the thickness than it is when it's soft. Okay, quality-wise, taste-wise, not gonna make a difference. It just makes life a little bit easier. All right, I'm gonna do that. I'll be back and I'll show you what that looks like when it's ready to go. All right, here we are. So our meat is ready to be for the cooking process. You can see how these are just perfectly same thickness. Yeah, and just looks really good. All right, I took all the cartilage and the fatty tissue off of there. Not cartilage, but connective tissue. All right, so this is ready. I'm going to put this in the fridge. Just keep it cold while I prepare my other ingredients, okay? So next, we're going to prepare our eggplant. The eggplant. Now, what do we do with this bad boy? What I've done already is washed it in the sink and dried it with a paper towel. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the skin off in ribbons, okay? So we're going to have like a part that the skin is off and then a little bit of skin on, a little part with the skin off and on. We're going to cut the ends off, get rid of that, and then we're going to cut this into little donuts, okay? About an inch thick each, okay? You don't want to go thinner than that. You go a little bit thicker, it's okay, but you don't want to go thinner than an inch, okay? Again, I'm going to do that, finish it up just like I did with the meat, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like. All right. I just wanted to show what I meant by peeling it in strips, okay? So that's how you do it. The reason why you do it like that is later on you'll see it helps to keep our little patties of eggplant together better. It looks nicer on the plate and adds a little bit of fiber to the meal, okay? So now we've done with the peeling part. Now we're going to cut this into about 1 inch little medallions. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be back, and then there's one more step with this, and then we'll be ready to go with the eggplant also. So here we are. We have our eggplant sliced in 1 inch little medallions. The next step we're going to do with the eggplant is you always want to salt your eggplants and let it sit for a while. Eggplants can have a bitterness to them that can come through the food. Also, there's some moisture in there that you want to bring out. So by salting it, you are dragging the moisture out, and you it helps with that bitterness that eggplant may have, all right? What you're going to need is a container. I'm using a stainless steel one and a strainer. And the reason for that is when I salt the eggplants, I'm going to put them in here, and I don't want the eggplants to sit in the water that comes out of the eggplant. So what's going to happen is water is going to collect there, and the little sieve will keep the eggplants above the water. I'm going to do that. I use just basic salt. It's not for cooking. This is just for drawing the water out. You don't have to use sea salt, which is a little bit more expensive than your usual regular salt. So I'm going to do that with our regular table salt. I'll be back and show you what that looks like. Okay, here we are. So we got our little eggplant medallions. I don't know if you can tell, but there is plenty of salt. So just your either iodized or plain salt. Just put it on there and let it sit. So now this is going to sit about half an hour, okay? A good half an hour at least I would let it sit, and then we'll be ready to cook with the eggplant. So the meat is in the refrigerator. It's all ready to go. The eggplants are just going to sit outside. They don't need to be refrigerated. We're going to just let it cover it with a wrap and just let it sit. Next, we're going to deal with the potatoes. All right, so now the potatoes. What we're going to do is I have already washed and brushed these. We are going to peel the potatoes, okay? And we're going to kind of treat it just like the eggplants, except instead of peeling it in strips, we're just going to completely take the skin off of the potatoes. And then we're going to cut the potatoes just like we did with the eggplant. Instead of cutting it in 1 inch increments, we're going to cut it into maybe half an inch, little medallions, okay? And then that's it with the potatoes, and the potatoes will be ready for the cooking process, okay? So again, this dish is a multi-process dish where you prepare the ingredients, then you cook the ingredients individually, then at the end you combine everything and put it in the oven for about half an hour or so, and you get this amazingly delicious stew out of it, okay? I'm going to do the potatoes. I'll be back and show you what potatoes look like once they're processed. So we got our potatoes done just like the eggplants, cut into about 1/2 inch pieces. If you end up with smaller pieces, that's fine. Don't worry about it. The little pieces you can use, but you don't want it to, keep this piece on there so you end up with a big chunk. Okay, and there's a reason for that because we're still got some work to do with these potatoes. All right, so the potatoes, they don't need anything else right now. They're just going to sit aside. Going to cover it with a saran wrap and just let it sit. Doesn't need to be refrigerated. Actually, we want it at room temperature. Alrighty. Next, we're gonna prepare our onion here. Basically, you're just gonna chop it up into little bits, dice it, and that's it. That'll be it with the onion. I'm gonna do that with the garlic also. And I'll be back and show you what they both look like once done. All right, back in a minute. All right, friends. So you can see we have our onions chopped up here. This is about the size we want to get them. And we have our garlic, again, not too finely chopped, coarse chop with the garlic. We have our spicy peppers, which we're going to put in our sauce later on down the line. This dish I'm making is enough for 2 people to have 2 meals. So 2 to 4 people will just get plenty to eat with this dish. The eggplants are still resting and curing with the salt. And while that is happening, we have the potatoes all ready to go. And so while this is happening, we're going to start with our sauce that is going to give this dish an awesome flavor. We're going to saute the onions, the garlic with the sauce, and we're going to incorporate it into our dish later down the line. Now, remember, like I said, this is type of a dish that takes a lot of preparation, but at the end, everything comes together and goes in the oven for about half an hour to an hour for it to be completely done. All right, I'm gonna go by the stove and we're gonna start sauteing this and getting our sauce going. So here we have our pan. I'm using peanut oil today. You can use any type of oil you like. You can use olive oil. You can use regular vegetable oil, canola oil. Today we're using peanut oil. Gonna start sauteing our onions. We're gonna let that go until they turn from opaque to transparent, and then translucent, transparent, and then we're gonna add our garlic. We're gonna let the garlic go for about a minute or two until the aroma of the garlic comes out. Again, we don't want to overcook the onion. We don't want to overcook the garlic. We just want to get it nice and releasing aroma. Now at this point, we are ready to continue to add our garlic and get it to saute and release aroma. So our onion is ready here now, and we're ready to add our tomatoes, our canned tomatoes to it. One thing about tomatoes is that if you use enough oil and cook your tomatoes, cook it long enough, you'll really change the flavor of the tomato and you'll give it a very, very nice sweet taste. Look at these nice chunks out of this canned tomato. Look at the color. I bet you even in restaurants you can't get tomatoes that are so well ripened, but we're getting them in a can here in a great value product, okay? So we're gonna add, we added our tomato here, and we're gonna let this simmer and cook while we address other parts of this dish that's gonna get incorporated later down the line. All right, so now we're going to start adding our spices. As we talked about, we got our salt, sea salt, pepper, black pepper. We got some uh, onion powder, garlic powder, turmeric. Turmeric, very healthy for you and gives this dish a very special flavor, and a little bit of smoked paprika. So we're gonna add all these spices, and we are going to allow this sauce to simmer further until the tomatoes are nicely cooked, and that'll be it for the sauce. And then now we're gonna address other parts of this dish. By the way, the amount of spices we're adding, it's to taste. If you like it to be spicier, you can add more black pepper, or saltier, add or less or more salt, however you like it. So to taste would be the amount of spices you use. So let me show you what's been happening to our eggplants here. They've been sitting here with the salt. I want to lift this basket up and show you the amount of liquid that came out of these eggplants. Okay, that's a lot of water that came out of it. Our next step is going to be to wash these eggplants under nice cold running water in the sink. We want to get as much of the salt as we can out of it. And then what we're going to do with it is we're going to pat it dry with some paper towels, and have it ready for our next step, which is again to saute these eggplants to be ready to be incorporated into our dish. So we're going to check on our sauce here. It's doing perfect. It's simmering. While that's still continuing to simmer, we're getting our eggplants ready to be sauteed, okay? So now again, the idea here is not to cook the eggplant. It's just to get a nice sear on both sides. Again, I'm using peanut oil here. You might need a little bit extra oil because cooking eggplants, the eggplants will suck up some oil. One trick to preventing that from happening as much is to have your oil really hot. And if your oil is really hot, you can get a sear before the eggplant has an opportunity to suck up a lot of moisture. Now, another thing, a lot of oil. Now, another thing we're doing here is, again, patting the eggplants dry. And the reason for that is to remove as much moisture as we can, since hot oil and water do not mix, and we don't want to get too much splatter. So I'm gonna heat up the oil. I'm gonna start sauteing these, and we'll pick up at that point. Our oil is at the right temperature. By the way, I changed my pan here. I was using the wrong pan. I don't know what I was thinking. Obviously, I wasn't. We need a pan that's a little deep, and it's a little bit larger. You can use a small pan and then incorporate everything at the end on a bigger pan later, but this way you get all the essence of everything that you are frying in the same pan, and that's what gives this dish its delicious flavor, okay? So you can see my oil is nice and hot, not too hot, not too cold. Don't want to add all the eggplants all at once because it'll bring the pan temperature down, and that'll cause the eggplants to absorb all the oil. And not that anything's wrong with that. Eventually everything gets incorporated, but this way you get better results. All right, so we're going to continue doing this and show you what the next step is in just a bit. Thank you for watching. I know this is a long process, but again, the end results are just absolutely delicious. All right, and we'll get to share them with you on video. Be back in a bit. All right, so again, we don't really want to cook them all the way through. That's the goal. Get a nice little sear on each side, okay? Right here, this is perfect. We're gonna take them out and put them on a plate on the side, okay? Just perfect. It still has its shape, and I'm trying to film and do this. Um, so, yeah. Alrighty, I have the eggplants done, ready to go now. We're gonna do the potatoes. So same thing. We're just going to fry our potatoes and get a little crispy on each side. Okay, again, the idea is not to cook the potatoes all the way through. It's just to get that nice hard sear on the outside, okay? And the potatoes are almost done. We got one more ingredient to go before we put everything together, so we're almost there. So we'll finish up with these potatoes, and we'll be back, and we'll do the meat, the sirloin. All right, we're gonna basically do the same thing. Just hard sear the outside. We're not gonna try to cook it all the way through, and then we're pretty much there. From this point to the end, we got maybe about half an hour, 45 minutes for this absolutely delicious stew to be ready. All right. Meanwhile, the tomatoes are going. We're gonna introduce the peppers in just a bit. I haven't forgotten about these guys. I didn't put them in here because it would be really, really spicy. So I just incorporate these peppers at the end for that just perfect kick. Okay. Alrighty, I'm gonna finish this up. We'll be back and we'll do the sirloin.
This is exactly what the potatoes should look like, a nice sear on the outside. Look at all the goodness from all the sauteing and frying we've done. That's what gives this dish a special flavor, and that's what the good thing is about doing it in the same pan. We want to make sure that the meat is at room temperature. If you remember, this was semi-frozen before. I let it sit out, become room temperature. Two reasons. One, if there is icicles on it, it'll cause a lot of splatter. You can see me patting this dry further here. The second is that if it is cold, it's not going to sear well, and it's going to water is going to come out of the meat, and that's going to turn the meat into it won't be as tender. It'll be a little tough. Okay, so here we have hot pan. I'm gonna lay our pieces of sirloin, just maybe about 30 seconds each side. We're gonna flip this pretty soon. Again, the point is not to cook it all the way. It's just to get a perfect sear.
All right, so you can see we got a nice little sear on there without overcooking the meat, okay? And for that, you of course need high heat and quick action. So I've turned the flame off. What we're gonna do now is we are going to assemble all the different ingredients that we've made so far right here into this pan, okay? Of course, we're gonna use, I've been adding water. You're gonna have to add water to that as it's cooking down, but that's about ready. I'm gonna show you in just a bit what I mean by ready, what I look for. But we're gonna put it in here and we're gonna deglaze. We're gonna deglaze this pan, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start putting back our eggplants, the eggplants that we made. You just want to arrange it so you have like a little bit of a meat, a little bit of an implant. You don't want an implant, you want an eggplant. Yeah, this is coming along really well. And the final eggplant piece. There you are. We're right on. Okay. So you just want to make sure you have the meat and eggplant divided up pretty fairly. All right, next step is our potatoes. Okay. Again, Just kind of spread it out the best I can. So it ends up looking like that. How do I know when my sauce is ready? Well, I've added maybe about a cup and a half, maybe 2 cups of water. We may need to add more. But as you can see, most of the chunks have broken down. We're not completely emulsified. We completely haven't like just cooked the tomatoes into a paste. We have some chunks, but about half of it is done, and that is perfect and ready to go. Now we're going to take this and we are going to put it over, I don't want to mess this up, our ingredients all combined there. All right, now we're going to take a little spoon, spread it all out, get it in all the cracks and crevices. And this is what we have. So now I take my little peppers and I just work them in now. You can put them in while you're cooking the stew, but I like doing it this way because the peppers still maintain their shape, so you can pick them out if you don't want to eat them, or you can eat them. Just going to incorporate it in there. I think I am going to add, even though there's going to be more moisture being drawn out of the all the ingredients, I think I am going to add about a maybe a cup of water to it. Alrighty, so now we're going to put the lid on this and we're going to put it in the oven, and we're going to cook it at low temperature of about 300 degrees, 275 for about half hour, and then check on it and see what it looks like, at what stage we're at, and go from there. Alrighty, I'm going to put the lid on, put it in the oven. We'll be back and look at it at that time. All right, friends, so we're at the half an hour mark. Whee! You can see what it looks like. Some of the juice is gone, but everything is cooking, getting incorporated. We're gonna let this go for another probably 15 minutes to half an hour, and then we'll be ready to enjoy it. All right. So I'll be back. Meanwhile, I'm going to be making some basmati rice, smoked basmati rice, which is perfect for this to be served on. I'll see you then, and we'll show you the end results. Okay, so we've reached the end of the road. It's been a very long, windy road, but let me show you what we got. Let me show you the results. Yeah, baby. All right, look at that. Our potatoes just perfectly done. Eggplants holding their shape. Just absolutely delicious. All right, so the way we're going to plate this is like this. We've got our smoked basmati rice. I'm going to try to get best camera angle. All right, this is going to be your plate. So is that good? Wait, it's too much? All right, let's get you one of these beautiful pieces of eggplant. That's just falling apart. Some potatoes. More eggplant. Or it can be my plate. Another potato. And depending on if you like your rice soaked or dry, I like mine a little dry. My beautiful wife likes hers soaked. And we also have to fish out some of the meat here. Look at that. Got our sirloin steak. Top that off with a little bit of tomato. What do you think? Do you want this or should I have it?
I'll take it.
So there goes the honest lady. Look at that pepper. That's what I was talking about. The little pieces of pepper intact. From here on, you can season it as you like. But yeah, my mouth is watering. This is delicious. You should try it. It's a good recipe to do on a day that you're bored and you don't know what to do.
Or like a rainy day.
A rainy day. Alrighty, well. Yes, sir. So now I just want to say thank you again for joining me on this long journey. Be kind to each other, be nice to animals, live, laugh, love. Cooking is something we all share in common. I have a update coming up on the farm workers in a few days. We're going to see how it goes. Food is what connects us all. We all need to eat. We all need to survive. It's the international language. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you stuck it out all the way through, kudos, more power to you. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Okay, so here I am with Honest Lady. She's the honestest person in the world that I know. And she really is honest. And she's going to tell us what she thinks of this dish. Honest Lady, tell us what you think. Which ingredient is the most like that hits you first?
The eggplant. Even though I had a bite of potato, I can even taste the eggplant in there.
And look at that. That's part of the sirloin right there.
Yeah, I just broke apart with the fork. It's fork tender. It's delicious.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, the meat's so good. Yeah, it's definitely worth the effort.
Alrighty, and as the shirt says, magical. So does the stew. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for joining me. See you in the next video.